Hi, everyone. This is Raquel.
Hi, and this is Jennifer.
Welcome to Madness Cafe.
This is a feminist podcast where we talk about women's issues, politics, and health and wellness.
And where those issues intersect. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Madness Cafe. Jennifer and I today are going to talk about, this is a feminist podcast. So we want to talk about our favorite or some of our favorite feminist quotes. We are going to just get going. Y'all know me, I'm the nerd in the group, and I quote unquote cheated and found pages of quotes that I like. So we're going to try to narrow it down to maybe 3 each.
Well, I'm right there with you, Raquel, because once I started doing this exercise, I found it to be actually amazing, and I learned a lot. And you may be the cheater, but I cheated too because I couldn't stick to 3 either. So who knows what's going to come up today?
Yeah. But what I was thinking that we would do is we would kind of go in turn, like each give one and then the other give one, and then talk about like why we like the quote and who it's from, and just, I don't know, just kind of go from there. And maybe in the process, people listening and even ourselves will learn about people that are new to us, right?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fun. This is a fun exercise.
Yeah, I like it.
Can I start? Can I start?
Yes,
okay.
You can start.
I wanted to start with Madonna because I don't know if you know this, Raquel, but there were a few people in high school who called me Majenny.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because I adored Madonna and I tried to dress like her, and she was the first person I saw in concert.
Oh my God.
And I think it was because, even though I didn't have the words for it at the time, I think it was because she's such a feminist in business. People will make fun of Madonna's music, and maybe I might a little too, but not really, because I love her. She was a businesswoman, businesswoman first, and I really always appreciated that. So I'll start with her quote, and this was, she was speaking to a reporter on what it feels like for a girl. Madonna said, "Girls can wear jeans and cut their hair short, wear shirts and boots because it's okay to be a boy. But for a boy to look like a girl is degrading because you think being a girl is degrading."
Yes.
That sums it up, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Oh my God. Wow. That's pretty deep. Yeah.
It touched me because I feel like my oldest daughter is very feminine. She wears pink and fun stuff. And I've never really been like that. I've been more, sometimes I feel uncomfortable in a dress. And you all know I like to play soccer, and I feel confident in the business world. And sometimes I have felt less than feminine. And I don't know if feminine equates to being a woman or being a girl, but I always felt like a girl and a woman, yet I didn't necessarily feel like I belonged, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So that quote really speaks to me because
maybe it was because the constraints or the traditional ideas around feminine and femininity were just too rigid.
Way too rigid. And I didn't know how I fit in. And I was one of the first female soccer players growing up in our area. I played on all boys teams when I first started playing. And the insults, although they didn't use the word pussy at the time, became, "Quit being such a pussy," or "You throw like a girl," or "Don't be a crybaby, you little girl," stuff like that. It was always in the world that I traveled in, it was always an insult if you were referred to as a girl. Like that's how you could make someone feel bad about themselves, is by giving them feminine, girly qualities.
Right.
And that's what that quote means to me. It's like, I want to say to the world, you wish you could throw like a girl, because some of those women can throw that ball like you've never seen.
Exactly.
I'm not one of those women, by the way, but some of them. Why is throw like a girl an insult when throw like a girl could be a champion statement?
Yeah.
That's what it means to me.
there were some commercials that were out a few years ago where they were talking about throw like a girl or run like a girl. And there were young girls in the ads and they were like, yeah, throw like a girl. I throw really well, or run like a girl. I'm really fast. Like, or that was the gist of it, right? I think people are
Coming around.
trying to like turn that on its head.
Yeah. I
So,
hope it gets turned on its head, because I think it's a real compliment to be like a girl. I think it's a real compliment to be like a boy. I think it's a real compliment to not be gendered at all, actually. Why don't we just throw really well or run really fast? Why does it have to be like a boy or like a girl?
Right, exactly. I wonder when that statement started, like, you throw like a girl. But
It probably started when young boys were getting uncomfortable with girls in sports. And it was a way to, I'm not saying boys did this consciously, it was probably very subconsciously, but a way to hold people back, especially girls, to hold them back, to make them feel inferior, to lesser them.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Okay. So my first one, actually, I think all of mine are from the same author, who's also an activist and, of course, a feminist, Audre Lorde, who I really want to learn more about. And that's on me that I haven't done more research on her and I haven't read more of her work. But the little bit that I do know about her, I mean, she's so inspiring and such a fantastic writer, and just, I mean, she really encapsulated things in a very succinct way that were very powerful. And the first quote from her is, "I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own." That really resonates with me.
Me too.
Oh, and I should say too, Audre Lorde, for those who don't know, a Black woman. And for her to make that statement that it isn't just about Black women's liberation, it isn't just about white women's liberation, it isn't just about insert whatever qualifier here, liberation. All of our liberation is tied together. That if one of us is unfree, we are all unfree.
I believe that 100% to my soul.
Absolutely. And I find it so interesting that there's so many people, interesting and frustrating and maddening. Yes, all the things, but there's so many people who don't get that, who put, borders on who they think can be free or who is allowed to be free. That it's only, them or their group, or let's be honest, it's, people thinking, oh, well, only white people can be free, or only wealthy people can be free, or only educated people, or only people that I like can be free. No, freedom has to be for all of us for it to work or to be significant for any of us. Freedom can't be conditional. And so that quote just hit me right in my soul. And it just speaks to how connected we all are, whether we realize it or not, that what happens to one of us happens to all of us.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm like you. I don't quite understand why people can't feel or see that. And I think about all these things that are going on in the world right now. And yeah, we want to have this beautiful first world nation where we're in charge and in control. But by doing that, we create all this chaos and actually starvation in other countries. And can we not see that that is actually disempowering ourselves? Can we not see that? Can we not feel the connection to that?
Yeah, I think And I think there's people who maybe they can see it, but they just don't care.
Yeah. Well,
And,
that's
I
where
don't, right. And I don't understand not caring. That's what I, part of what I don't get. How can you know that all of this is happening, that there are all these people who are
starving.
oppressed or starving or impoverished or don't have access to whatever it is that they need to live a fully actualized life and to be safe, and then to not care? I mean, it's one thing if you don't understand that these things are there. There are people who don't, who for whatever reason don't understand or don't know or whatever, or just haven't been enlightened, whatever.
Mhm.
Or little kids and don't know, whatever. If you are a sentient being and you have knowledge of the world around you, how can you be aware of these things and not care and not be deeply affected by them?
Greed or fear, or maybe the people who have so much think, if I acknowledge that these people in the world exist, then I have to do something about it. Then I have to bring my own standard of living down in order to increase somebody else's standard of living. I have to share. Maybe it's fear of, if we somehow feed every child in this world, then I don't get to have a motorboat.
Yeah, but I don't understand that way of thinking.
I'm just saying that's gotta
Right,
be it, because
right,
there is
right.
no justification otherwise. Also, I think a lot of people that don't care, it's not necessarily that they don't care, but they feel paralyzed
Right.
because they don't see a solution. Like, remember when we were talking to Preston, the young
Mhm.
man, and he said, how do we get the food
Yeah.
to these places, because the warlords use it in power? And they do.
Mhm,
So he's
mhm.
not wrong about that. How do we? And all you can see is obstacle after obstacle. So instead of doing anything, we do nothing because we
Right.
don't know what to do. And I have felt that. I
Yeah.
have felt that when I look at global warming. Olivia and Gabby and I stopped using straws. We're traveling in New York City with our water bottles, and we're
Mhm.
trying not to use any plastic. And then we see the massive amounts of garbage on the street, and that they put into a barge and they take down the river to where are they taking that stuff? What does our straw do? What does my
Yeah.
straw do?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
I understand that completely because,
by the way, I'm still not using straws, but
right.
but
Yeah.
it's like, how do we get the food to people? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard something recently. Somebody who works in climate change and eco activism was talking about how it's great that people, that individuals are doing things now and making changes. That's all great. But the biggest changes need to come and will be more effective coming from large
Company.
organizations.
Yeah. But it's the same with this idea about feeding people. We can all donate a few dollars. I'm sure we all did.
Mhm.
But until our governments really get on board with making some kind of decision around these things, and it goes back to voting. It goes back to all of this that we've always talked about. We have to start at the local level.
Yeah.
But that seems, when you think about it, it seems small compared to where we're going into the world. Okay, we're
Right.
getting off target.
Right.
Let me
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
number two.
Yeah. Okay. Your second one.
Okay, this one is from Emma Watson,
Okay.
and you probably all know her as Hermione Granger.
Mhm.
She has been an outspoken feminist. She talks about how feminism is for everyone. If you believe in equality, you are a feminist.
Mhm.
But I particularly liked this quote because it speaks directly to men. And she says, Emma Watson says, I've seen my father's role as a parent being valued less by society, despite my needing his presence as a child just as much as my mother's. I've seen young men suffering from mental illness, unable to ask for help for fear it would make them look less macho. I've seen men made fragile and insecure by a distorted sense of what constitutes male success. Men don't have the benefits of equality either.
Yep. Basically speaking to exactly what we've talked about on the show. Yeah, that men and boys are negatively affected by anti-feminism
And I have had so many struggles trying to talk to the men in my life about feminism doesn't mean I hate men. It doesn't mean I want men. I want women here and men here, women above men. It means we want to be afforded the same rights.
I have such a hard time with understanding why that notion of
Because they want it.
hate men.
Because they
Why?
want it to.
Well, yeah, but how many times do you have to say it?
Because they want it to. Here's a quote from Gloria sorry, I'm skipping quotes here.
Sure.
This is Gloria Steinem in her book. This is all quotes, by the way.
Okay,
She
cool.
says, there are two reasons why people don't support the word feminist. The first is they don't know what it means. And the second is they do know what it means. They don't want to. They don't want to. They could listen to us, but they choose not to. They say, hey, here's two really fun, smart, educated women. I respect their opinion. And when they tell me what feminism is, I don't believe them because they don't want to.
Ugh.
That's it.
Yeah,
they don't want to listen. They don't want to.
Yeah, and they don't have to. I mean, from a seat of privilege, they can choose not to listen.
It pisses me off, Raquel.
Yeah, very much. Very much. I tell you, honestly, if I sat and thought about it, I would be pissed off literally every day, all day, every day.
That's the name of her book. Gloria Steinem, The Truth Will Set You Free. Found out that's a Bible quote. That's Jesus said that. And then she added, but first it will piss you off.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Your turn.
So my second one, again, by Audre Lorde, is your silence will not protect you.
Oof. That one's so tough.
Yeah. What that called up for me is just because you aren't talking about something doesn't mean it's going away. Just because you're keeping the quote unquote keeping the peace by not talking about things, that's not helping you. That's not setting you free. You are not protected. That is not helping you at all. At all.
That quote brings me back to George Floyd. And the thing that I can't say most angry. I guess the thing I was most angry was about the fact that they murdered that man.
Yeah.
But the second thing I was most angry about is I felt like there were a lot of people speaking out, but I didn't see anything from white American males. And I'm like, why can't you open your mouth?
Here's the thing. And I actually, the exact same thing. When all of this was going on, I was really, really upset that at least at first, I didn't see any of my white male friends saying anything about what was going on. Nothing. And then, then I started to see a few of my white male friends say something, about it. And some are very, very involved still to this day in Black Lives Matter work and, all the things, right? But if you compare the number of white men that I'm friends with who said something and maybe still continue to say something, and the number of white women, it is way out of proportion. There's like maybe 5 men, and then, dozens and dozens of white women who, at least in my, on my Facebook feed, people that I'm actually friends with.
Right.
It is just so out of balance.
Well, I didn't see any white men say anything. I actually went behind the scenes, instant messaged people that I thought had some clout, and I said, why aren't you saying anything about this? Why aren't you putting anything on your feed? Like our social media is this, but I felt like at least that's one thing we can do is state an opinion, say what's right. And I reached out to probably 5 or 6 people I thought, white men who I thought should make a statement. I lost friends.
Yeah.
I guess you could call them friends. I don't respect them anymore. I remember one reaction I got, it was like, what is this? Why would you, what? And it was like, what this is someone asking you to use your voice and your clout with your following to say what's right.
Yeah. I mean, I was really hurt. I was really, really hurt that more of my friends didn't say something. The ones that did say something, I was like, okay, you stood up.
It's not even a big deal. It's not even real activism. All you're doing is typing a few words into Facebook and
But apparently that's very scary for some people, which I don't know why, but that can be very scary for people. Maybe they are in, I don't know, sectors of society where just saying something will get them ostracized. But my question is that a part of society you really want to be a part of?
I've not been part of that society. I told you how my parents raised us. They took us into biracial neighborhoods on purpose so that we would be raised in equality, you know, or at least attempted equality. Like they were trying to be anti-racist parents.
Yeah.
I'm not a churchgoer. I think there's a lot of emphasis in churches that keep us in tight groups. I don't know. I'm not a churchgoer. I'm not going to go there because I'm not going to piss off people. But what I will say is there seems to be a message from this far Christian right about how we can treat people that doesn't seem to ring true with Christianity to me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's something that's going to continue to come up.
Yeah, but I just like, can't people just see the fakeness of that? Like, okay, if there's a God, you know, I struggle with this, but if there is a God and God created the universe and God loves his people and his animals and his plants and he gave us all free will to do whatever we wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
God loves us all, no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? There's like no question to that. So God doesn't want you going around shooting people because they're a different color than you, or because he doesn't want you raping a woman because you have power over her, dominion over her. And he doesn't want us doing genocide because we think whatever we are is better than what someone else is. That is not what God wants.
Right.
But, and this is where I'm going to go out on a limb here. But even if you're doing all that shit, in my opinion, of course, I am an atheist, so it's kind of weird of me to say this, but in my opinion, God loves you anyway, because that's just who God is.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a very hard time with religion. Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah. Well, you know, actually, but one more thing that I want to bring up with the quote, your silence will not protect you. I remember this quote coming up during the 2016 election when Trump was elected, and people being boggled by the fact that so many white women had voted for him, even though he's clearly a misogynist and clearly a big giant pig. And clearly has no respect for women at all. And the quote kept coming up, your silence will not protect you. Just because you're towing the line and either voting with your husband, or if you think Donald Trump is going to protect you because you voted for him, no, silence will not protect you. As we have seen with all of the laws, you know, especially laws about reproductive rights and women's access to healthcare, all of these things that are being trampled on. Well, to the women who voted for him, y'all voted him in, and guess what? Your silence did not protect you. You are getting lumped in with all the rest of us who are being affected by those crappy ass laws.
Some of those white women, dare I say Republicans, want those reproductive laws in place. That's some scary ass bullshit, isn't it?
That's some scary shit too.
They don't want
Really scary shit.
autonomy over their own bodies. They don't want autonomy over their own lives.
See, I don't understand that.
I don't understand either. This is not me, but they think that when we say we're feminists, we're taking away their rights to be wives and mothers.
But that's not that's not what feminism means.
I hear you, but that's what they think. They think that we're saying, because I want autonomy over my own body, my own destiny, my own life, then you must live your life like I choose to live mine. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying I have autonomy over my body. You have autonomy over yours. Raquel, you have autonomy over your body. We all get to decide what kind of life we want to live. But they, white female Republicans who want these laws, think that we're taking away their right to be a stay-at-home mom. And I respect stay-at-home moms. That's a freaking hard job.
I couldn't do it.
I think they should be paid for it.
Shit, yeah.
That's a whole nother topic. But why, you do have to wonder, why did white American women vote against their own interest? You do have to wonder. And it was a huge percentage. The percentage was higher than the white American women that didn't vote for him. What the fuck's going on with that?
Exactly. In that whole discussion, that's where, I think that was where I first heard the quote, "Your silence will not protect you."
But you know, that those laws, those anti-abortion laws, those are single issue reasons why people vote Republican. They vote on that one issue and that one issue only, because they believe so deeply that abortion is murder.
I can't fault anybody for being a one issue voter, because for the longest time, I have been a one issue voter in that I will not vote for, I mean, first of all, I'm a Democrat. I'm not going to vote for a Republican, but I also am not going to vote for a Democrat who is anti-choice.
So you're a one issue voter also.
It's not so much that I'm a one issue voter. That is my litmus test.
It's the same for women Republicans.
Right.
A lot of them.
And I get that. I get that.
Or it's taxes, because a lot of people vote, a lot of people who have money, real money, not the kind of money that you and I have, but real money, realize that when there's a Democrat in office, they're going to pay higher taxes. And so they don't so much care about human rights and women's rights and laws about our bodies. They care about their tax rate. And that's why they would vote for an asshole like Trump, even though he said shit. He mocked a disabled person. He said he was going to grab him by the pussy. He could take whatever he wanted. Those are things everybody's well aware of. Also, he couldn't even put together a complete sentence. Let's be for real. He's an uncaring human being. They wanted lower taxes. Greed.
Yeah, God, greed is a horrible thing.
Greed. It goes right back to what you were saying a couple episodes ago. If they would just pay their fair share of taxes, we could have better school systems. We could take care of the roads. There's a lot of things that we could do. But meanwhile, other people are paying higher tax rates. Okay, next quote.
Okay.
Is it my turn or your turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. This is from Beyonce. Beyonce said, "We need to reshape our own perception of how we view ourselves. We have to step up as women and take the lead." I have been struggling with that. Struggling is not the right word. I have been growing with that a lot lately. And I
like the way you said that. You're growing with it. You're not struggling with it. I like that.
I'm not struggling. I'm suddenly growing. And I think I owe it to you, actually, because of all these amazing guests that you've booked and all these books that we're reading and all these things we're researching. It has really opened my mind to how I feel. I mean, I always knew I was a feminist, but it's opened my mind to how I feel about it. And, a lot of times I was just like, yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter so much. I had someone at work who was mildly sexually harassing me for many years. And I
Mm,
was one of those women who were like, yeah, it's okay. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that much. I'm tough. I just ignore it.
yeah.
It is what Beyonce says here. We have to step up as women and take the lead. And in a way, Raquel, that's what you and I are doing.
Yeah.
We're like, we're just going to learn for ourselves. We're going to put it out there. We're going to bring anybody along with us who wants to come for the ride. And we're just going to keep doing this because
Yeah.
it's what we believe in.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we can't sit back and wait for other people to do it.
No,
I mean,
I
if
like
there's
it.
something that we want done that we aren't seeing in the world, we go out there and do it. And yeah, that's what we're doing. We are shining a light on topics that need to be discussed and shining a light on other women who have a great message, and we're trying to help them get their message out there and shine a light on their work. And we're also trying to, like you said, we're educating ourselves too.
I have learned so much.
Yeah.
I have grown. It's weird because I was thinking about it the other day when I was flying. I was thinking out of high school, into college, into the Peace Corps, learning so much. And then there's this period where I had kids and then working. And not to say I didn't learn a lot at work, because I certainly did,
Right.
but it wasn't really, it was like career and kids took center stage.
Mhm.
And my own personal growth about me and my womanhood and my power sort of stalled. And I think I put up with a lot of things that I didn't necessarily really need to.
Mhm.
And maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know what it would have been like if I had challenged any of that. It could have been completely different. I guess it's just time to say, no, no more,
Right.
no more. Take
Right.
the,
And it's time for, and everybody reaches this point in their own time. You eventually get to a point where, like Beyonce said, you have to step up and you have to take the reins.
Mhm.
You want things to go in a certain direction, or if you want to learn about X, or if you want to develop a new skill, or if you, whatever, at some point, you just have to start doing it. At least for me, I mean, I'll just speak from my own point of view, but eventually I get to a point where I get sick of my own bullshit. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just have to go, okay, I
Mhm.
just need to do this.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
The onus is on us to do that which we desire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we can't just sit and wait for somebody to do it for us or
Well, they're
bring
not
it
going
to
to.
us, because that's not going to happen.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
All right, your turn.
Okay. Okay. Again, Audre Lorde. I tell you, the woman is just a font of brilliance and wisdom. She says, revolution is not a one-time event. That is so true. It's not like you do one action and then everything's hunky-dory forever and ever. Amen. No,
We all
no.
wish it was.
Yeah, exactly. Like yes, you have the event or the big momentum or, the big decision, but then you have to support it. You have to keep going. It isn't one and done. If you decide, okay, I'm going to take up running, you don't just all of a sudden go out and run a marathon. No, you make that decision and then you get going and you do it and do it and do it and do it until you can do the marathon. Or like with all of the protests that happened around George Floyd.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Those protests, that's awesome. Those people got out there and did all the things. Yes, amen. Get out there. Yeah, I support you. Do the things. But there's more. Like
Yeah.
there's more that continues. Like all of the activists and organizers from Ferguson, a lot of those people are still doing the work. It is not a revolution is not a one-time event. This is something that it becomes part of you. It becomes what you do, whether it's revolution with a small r or revolution with a capital R. All the little r revolutions support the big R revolution. And it keeps building on itself, and it keeps going and growing and developing. And it's not just like, oh, I participated in the Pussy Hat marches, so yay, now all women are,
We're free.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works.
Remember when we had Ava Davis on the show and she said that type of revolution was only like 5 or 10% of the work, and the rest of it was what we say and what we do in our daily lives, reflecting what we believe in those big revolutions.
Yes, that's exactly right.
That really stuck with me. I was like, oh, okay. So we can elicit some kind of change just by the way we hold ourselves. Maybe, we hope.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's right. I mean, how many people do you know, even in your own life, who have been examples for you, that just in the way that they live their lives, that you're like, wow, that's pretty amazing. There's strength in that. So yeah, the small moments do matter, and the small moments can have a lot of truth and strength and power to them.
Okay, this one is from Bell Hooks.
Okay.
And I'm excited about this one because I'm going to tell you all something that you don't know. I never heard of Bell Hooks before we started doing this podcast.
Ah, okay.
And Sylvester on our home defense brought her up first. And then I read a few things. And now today, when I was looking up quotes, I found one, happened to be by her, that I thought was really amazing because of mine and your kind of quest to talk about feminism. So this is what Bell Hooks said. She said, "Come closer. See how feminism can touch and change your life and all of our lives. Come closer and know firsthand what the feminist movement is all about. Come closer and you will see feminism is for everyone."
Oh, God, I love that.
Yeah, I really felt that. I was like, that's what I've been trying to say. Just come closer.
Yeah. God, I love the way she writes. Just so, come closer. See what it means. Come closer. Look.
It's not that big R revolution. It's that very inviting, come check it out. Decide for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask the questions. Take a look. See for yourself.
Yeah.
Come closer.
It's a beautiful quote.
God, I love that so much. And the way that you read it, I mean, that was, you encapsulated the lyrical nature of Bell Hooks' wording. That should be the title of this episode, Come Closer. I like that so much. There's so much beauty in that. And I think there's so much inviting people in.
It's an invitation.
Yes, demystifying, like, come on in. It's okay. We're taking the hard edges off. It's fine. Just come on in. It's okay. It's safe. Come closer. I wish there was more of that. I mean, yes, trust me, I understand. Powerful sort of stampede of revolutions and of feminism, of anything that needs to bring about equality. But there's also that, come closer. We invite you in.
The way you said that made me think there's that need for that big R, that revolution, that strength, that masculine energy. But the way she said it was very feminine in her energy. It was very feminine, but also so strong. The strength was feminine strength.
Yes.
So that's really interesting. Come closer. Come closer, people.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just come closer.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, so this is one from Roxane Gay, who...
Wait, I thought you were all doing the same people the whole time.
Well, I've done my 3.
Oh, okay.
Those are my 3. So now I'm moving on to some others. Since we're clearly going beyond what we said in the beginning, I'm only doing 3.
You knew we would.
So this one is from Roxane Gay. She's a writer. And one of her books, I think probably maybe her best known book, it's a series of essays called Bad Feminist.
Oh yeah, I heard of that book just recently.
Yeah, yeah. I have that book somewhere amongst all my many books. I don't know. Anyway, so she says, I believe feminism is grounded in supporting the choices of women, even if we wouldn't make certain choices for ourselves. Going back to the whole thing of, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, fine, do you. If you want to be a CEO, fine, do you. If you want to be an astronaut, fine. If you want to be a baker, fine, do you. It's about having the choices and supporting.
And if you want to have an abortion, have one.
Right, exactly. And if you don't want to have one, don't do that either. But it's about supporting the ability of having the choices so that you can then make the choice for yourself.
Right.
That's it. That is what feminism is. Supporting the choices, being there for anybody to make whatever their choice is, regardless of whether or not it's the choice that I would make. I'm not taking choices away from you. I'm just making sure that choices are available to me and everybody else that maybe you wouldn't make. That's it. And so that quote hit so hard for me because it's just, why don't people see it that way? And yeah, I know it's because they're
want you to
afraid,
have
they don't
control
want
over your
to.
own body. I read something today that said, and I'll look for it so you can put it in the show notes, but it said that we have already had the first year where there were more babies of color than white babies born in this country. And
Oh,
yeah, and like the way I smile about that. Yeah.
you did.
And this big push on controlling reproductive rights,
Mhm.
taking away the right of a woman to decide when and how she has babies is part of the push to push white women to produce more children. They want more white women at home producing children. That's our job. That's what we were created to do. We have no other autonomy other than that. I'm a
Women,
baby maker, Raquel.
women were not put on this earth to just be breeders.
I'm a breeder. Oh, wait, I'm not anymore.
No. Well, that, yeah. Yeah. Then your usefulness has
Has
passed.
ceased. My
Yeah.
usefulness has ceased to exist on this planet. Anyway, I mean, I do find some, I believe it. I will research that and get it back to you because
Okay.
it's a pretty important piece that we should talk about probably more later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's one from Susan B. Anthony on women's right to vote.
Okay.
She said, "It was we the people, not we the white man citizens who formed the union."
Yeah.
We the people. We all know that that's not completely true, that they weren't including most of us, but
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They weren't including most men either, but yeah.
no, it was we the people, not we the white male citizens who
Right.
formed the union.
Well, but what I'm saying is that not even all of the white male citizens were included, because
So they had to be property owners.
yeah, if you weren't landed gentry, then you were not included.
So it was white rich men
White rich men who owned land.
who owned land.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What else
Yeah.
you got? Give me another one.
Right, let's see. Oh my God, I have so many on here. Oh, this one I think goes back to what we've kind of been touching on. It's from Maya Angelou. And she says, I'm a feminist. I've been a female for a long time now. It'd be stupid not to be on my own side.
Yeah, that's what I've
There
been
you
saying.
go.
There you go. It sums it up.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. That is it right there.
Yeah, I don't
That's all
understand.
it. Yeah,
All right.
that's it.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, "Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. It shouldn't be that women are the exception." I think we've all heard that one.
Yes, amen. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay, I have two more that I think are really awesome. So this one is from Helen Mirren, who I just love. I just love her. She says, at 70 years old, If I could give my younger self one piece of advice, it would be to use the phrase "fuck off" much more frequently. Yes, Helen. Yes.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Have you ever used that phrase? Like, have you ever really told somebody to fuck off?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have?
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
think if I have.
Yeah.
Just said, fuck off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
think-
Yeah, I totally have.
Good. I'm proud of you. I don't know if I have. I'm going to have to reflect on that.
Yeah, I totally have. I guess people might be asking, well, what's that got to do with feminism? Well, it's got to be.
I'm not asking. I clearly see it.
Oh, okay. Then there we go. All right.
But give your response.
I think people might be thinking, what's that got to do with feminism, blah, blah. And I think it's A, standing up for yourself, and B, not being wed to that notion that women have to be nice all the time and just take whatever's given to them. Women can express anger and still be women.
Yeah, we don't have to be doormats.
Exactly.
Cinderella. We don't have to be the Cinderella doormat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one is from Shirley Chisholm. She said, the emotional, sexual, and psychological stereotyping of females begins when the doctor says it's a girl.
Damn, that's deep. So true.
It's true. It's a girl. Yay. Put her in a pink outfit and send her out the door.
Yes. Do hospitals still do that where they put pink on the girls and blue on the boys?
I think they actually have a little knit cap that's pink and blue, pink and blue, pink and blue, and they put them on all of them.
Okay.
So what they're saying is they're all transgender.
There you go. I love it. They're all non-binary.
It's just like, why do we focus so much on gender?
I don't. It's a way to control. It's a way to put a label.
Yeah.
On things. Yeah.
My kids are really teaching me, I think, in the last couple of years to try. You had the right word. I had the wrong word. I said that's transgender. You said that's non-binary. You were correct. And that's what my kids have been trying to teach me, that everything doesn't have to be binary. It can be non-binary. That we don't have to play in that world. We can start stepping away from it. And I think young people are. I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
I think young people are.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
one more.
Okay. This is from the sci-fi author Ursula Le Guin. And she says, we are volcanoes. When we women offer our experience as our truth, as a human truth, all the maps change. There are new mountains. Right?
Yeah.
When we speak our truth, when we call for change, when we make change happen, the entire landscape changes.
Yeah.
The world changes.
Yeah.
People change. When women stand up, speak their truth, fight to have that truth heard and acknowledged, it changes so much. It changes internal landscapes, it changes external landscapes, it changes
Energy.
Societal landscapes. Yes, it changes energy. It is huge. When we stand up, when we speak and fight for our truth, things change, monumental things happen.
I like her description too of we are a volcano. And when we finally, because we
when
do
we
tend
erupt, when we let go.
Because we tend to suppress ourselves. We tend to live in the, okay, I will comply, I will be nice, I will do what I'm supposed to do. And then eventually we're like, wait, I have just suppressed so much of my authenticity. You don't even see who I am. And so when we finally erupt and show the world who we are, everything changes.
Yeah.
Why do we have to erupt?
Right. Why does it have to be that things
Pressure builder,
push down and pressure build? Right.
Yeah. Maybe that is changing for the future. Maybe that
I
is.
hope so.
Okay, this one is for Amy Poehler. Do you know who she is?
Yes.
Did I say her name right?
You did. Yes, I love Amy Poehler. She's amazing.
Yeah,
She's so smart. So funny.
She kind of introduced me to politics through Parks and Rec because she was so funny. I was like starting to pay attention because of her. So she said, I just love bossy women. I could be around them all day. To me, bossy means somebody's passionate and engaged and ambitious and doesn't mind leading.
Love that.
Bossy
Love that.
women. I know so many of my friends growing up, myself included, that were
Mm,
called bossy. You're so
mm.
bossy. You're so bossy.
Yeah.
I am bossy. I've always been bossy. It's just part of my nature. And if I need to tone that down, people can say, I need you to not be bossy right now. But when I'm a boss at work, I'm bossy.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have had to spend probably the majority of my life having to tamp that down, my bossiness.
How do you do it? I can't even do it.
It is very, very difficult. It is very difficult. And it comes out in other ways. Maybe not always appropriate ways, because I am human and I'm
Right?
flawed. In other ways, sometimes it just comes out. When it is appropriate and safe, then yeah, I can allow my bossiness to come out. I like that side of myself. I mean, that side of me I see as someone who can take charge and get things done.
Yeah, like what she said. She said, I see bossy means passionate, engaged, ambitious,
Yeah.
someone who doesn't mind leading. It doesn't mean the negative connotation that they've given women who are bossy.
And I think that's the way that it can come across, which is why I've had to tamp it down, is because the first reaction is, how dare she? Right. And then
Yeah.
it's seen as rude when it isn't even, there's no rudeness even in it. It's just, how dare you?
You know why I think that you and I see this differently? There's two reasons.
Mhm.
One is obvious. One is because you're a Black woman and I'm a white woman. So
Mhm.
I had more ability to speak up than you did just based on the color of our skin. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sucks. But the second thing, the really strong reason why I've never had too much trouble being bossy,
Mhm.
and I want any man who is listening to this to listen to this, really hear what I'm saying. I was okay with being passionate and engaged and ambitious because it was okay with my father.
Ah,
Because when people called me bossy, my dad said it wasn't bossy. He said I was a leader. He was like,
wow.
listen to you. He's like, do what you got to do. When my soccer coach wasn't letting me play, my dad put his foot down and said, my daughter will play. I think it boils back down to prominent male figure in my life using his voice to make it okay for me to play soccer, for me to be a leader,
Mhm.
for me to be out there in the world.
Mhm.
And I guess so right now, I think I'm giving a public awareness announcement. Men, let your girls know that. Let
Yeah.
them know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, we need men in feminism.
Oh yeah.
We need you all.
Yeah. I mean, like we've said throughout this whole episode, like we've said throughout every other episode, we are interconnected.
Oh yeah. Well, we just want to play alongside you.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to exclude anybody. I mean, come on, come in and help,
Yeah.
pull up a chair, man. Come on.
We just want to play and lead and work and live and love and all of it right alongside y'all.
Exactly. Exactly. There's nothing about exclusion. The world, the universe is big enough for all of us to be there, for all of us to have leadership positions if that's what we want. And there's room enough for, if you want to be the stay-at-home parent, do that. That can be your choice. That's fine, whether you're man or woman. If you want to be the one who stays home, do you? If your situation allows that, then do it. Who cares? But you have that choice. That's what we're talking about. What I hope that people take away from today's episode, aside from the fact of maybe learning about people that they didn't know about before, like Bell Hooks and Audre Lorde and Shirley Chisholm, is just do a Google search, but don't stop there. Look behind the look behind the quote. Look at what the situation was that the quote was pulled from. Look at the person who said it and what their life was about and what they achieved and what they brought to history. There's so much knowledge and learning and education and empathy and connectedness that can come from just looking beyond the initial words. And that's what I want people to take from this. I mean, even with the term feminism itself, look beyond the word, go behind it, do the research, just look a little bit deeper, educate yourself. Just having that extra information, that knowledge will do so much to open your eyes and broaden your world.
You said it. Hell yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
One day, Raquel, you and I are going to be on TED Talk.
I think that would be fantastic. I can totally see it.
Me too.
I can totally see it. Thanks everyone for listening today. We will be back with more Madness Cafe next week. You can find us on Instagram at Madness Cafe Podcast or email us at madnesscafepodcast@gmail.com. Bye.